Hello everyone, welcome to Huron's Wow. In this video, we are going to talk about mental well-being and mental health. The concept of mental health and well-being is vast. We are going to cover a few day-to-day activities that are going to help build our muscle strong, a muscle that is not visible and sexy, but significant and healthy, which is our brain. Most of the times, we consider ourselves to be a little weak if we are feeling a bit under the weather or if our day-to-day physical activities are a bit disrupted. But how often do we go and ask ourselves the root cause of what is causing this weakness? Sometimes it could just be because of excess workload at office or home, and it could be because of even extreme socializing and a lot of time spending not with ourselves. Here, the important aspect is to pay attention to our feelings and emotions. Most of the time, we get carried away and get out of sync and go with the flow. But sometimes it is very important to take a step back and really center ourselves and make sure that our priorities are aligned and giving enough room for us to heal mentally and feel more strong and stable. The recent Netflix documentary on Naomi Osaka is one of the very good examples of the importance of mental health. It clearly shows no matter how successful a person is, we need to definitely take a step back and reflect on which direction we want to take and is this bringing us happiness today. Here are some methods that help me recenter myself. The first thing is connecting with nature. It could be as simple as looking outside the window and observing the shapes the clouds are forming. That moment of stillness is going to calm our minds and help us just realign, and not just doing for a minute or two, literally taking at least 10 to 15 minutes a day just observing those natural moments and changes. And as I've mentioned in some of my previous videos, going for walks by the woods or by the lake or even any other water bodies is also going to be really calming experience, and also having deep observation on the sunsets and the sunrise and the birds chirping around us. The next thing is practicing gratitude. We must have heard from a lot of experts about the importance of practicing gratitude. We only appreciate life when we actually tell and reflect on what we've already been gifted and blessed with today. For instance, it could be as simple as having access to internet. Around 40% of people in this world still do not have access to internet. The next thing is having social support system. It might look very obvious. We might be surrounded by a lot of people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that is our support system. Identifying people in our friends and family who can really be our advisors and counselors when the need be is very crucial here, because we need people who have empathy towards us and not just sympathy. Only then they can put themselves in our shoes and give the right advice. And now comes appreciating the present. This is also something which we hear a lot of people say, but I'm going to focus on tips that help us embed into our day-to-day activity. So I'm going to focus on the smell, taste, and the sound. Talking about smell, aromatherapy is something which is very easy and that can be practiced on daily basis. I met a family who really enjoy food. Well, I'm bringing it back again, but they just did not enjoy eating food, but also they paid a lot of attention in smelling it before they actually ate. So it felt very nice to see them how much they were appreciating it even before they were eating, and that really calms the mind and helps us appreciate what we've got on the table even better. They didn't just follow it as a couple, but they've also passed it down to their children. This is a very simple way of embedding this mindful practice into our day-to-day lives. Then comes the taste. One of the main reasons I've started Huron's Wow is because cooking is therapeutic for me. Food is not just to fill our bellies and make us full, but also a good and tasty food helps us release wonderful good hormones, which are serotonin and oxytocin, which help in our mental well-being. Now, the sound. Music is something which is proven to be very effective since our ancient times because it's been passed down from generations. Listening to a calm, subtle, even instrumental music is going to calm our body and mind. Initially, I was thinking, oh, we should first calm our mind to relax ourselves. But it is actually the other way around. We first relax our body and then our mind automatically is relaxed. The next thing that contributes to our mental well being is about learning new skills. I recently came across a lady who is 70 years young and who's learning painting lessons now. She was one of the happiest souls that I came across. When I asked her what made her learn painting now, she said she was just enjoying painting. Our mind loves when we are doing something new and exciting because it stimulates it, challenges it, and keeps it active. I have come across this question in one of the Tollywood films, and that is, when was the last time that you did something for the first time in your life? The answer to this shows how exciting we are keeping our life journey. Saying no and setting healthy boundaries. I think this is the toughest of all because it is hard to say people to stay out of our lives when we know that they're overstepping and trying to take control of our own choices and decisions. But for our well-being, it is very important to make our own choices and stick by our decisions. From the last 6 months, I've been using a mood tracker that has helped me identify some common triggers, with 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. This tracker not only helped me identify how I was feeling each day, but also helped me understand what was keeping me really happy and what was making me a bit sad. So it helped me work on things. In the first month, I had a lot of highs and lows, but as months progressed, I could come to a more consistent and a stable mindset because I was either able to take actions in terms of eliminating the triggers that are making me feel sad and work more towards things that are making me happy and giving me more energy. When we have a physical wound, we know that it takes certain amount of time to heal and we give all the care it needs. Depending on the size of the wound, the care it needs and the time it takes varies, whether it is a light cut, a fracture, or an amputation. Based on that, the lifestyle choices of a person can be completely altered, and we as a society understand that and we are ready to accommodate it. Some of us also like to advise the best doctors so that the person suffers less and gets the best possible treatment. Similarly, when a person is going through mental illness, it could be anxiety, depression, or anger, or any sort of abnormal behaviors. I think we need to be able to create space and provide proper guidance in terms of processing it and getting the best treatment in terms of becoming a better human. We observe that some people have a 180-degree shift in their lifestyle choices and the way they think because probably their value systems or belief systems must have gone through a fracture or an amputation, similarly like a leg or a hand would go through. Whether the pain is physical or mental, it takes certain amount of time to heal. Creating an atmosphere for the person to be themselves is only human. Hope these tips will be helpful for a better and mindful living. Please do subscribe and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.